Welcome to FFC Top 3, a show where we, your FFC hosts, count things down from 3 to number 1. Thank you, as always, for joining us this week. If you have a suggestion, the normal spiel comes out right now. It is the same as always. Hit us up on Twitter, in Discord, or even email us at focusfirechat@gmail.com with your suggestions. This week, with our new little guest here, AnonPig. I don't know if I would call him little. He's kind of a big thing at this point in the lore world.
Thank you.
Yeah, we are going to be talking about our top 3 things to do in video games. So, Anon, the way this thing works, we go 3, everybody goes their 3s, everyone does their 2s, everyone does their 1s. I make Blue go first, guest go second, I finish it out, and it's just Peachy telling stories about our favorite things in video games. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Awesome. Blue, you're up. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is side quest. I think it pretty much answers itself.
Yeah.
Like,
side
quest, like
the main quest.
It's no. Usually because by the time I get to the first step of let me back up. It depends on the game. Like, there's some games that I play that are like, no, you have to do this, and it's like, fine, I'll go do this, but then I want to come back and do this. Which is why I prefer Bethesda titles, because they're like, hey, here's the intro of like how to move and how to play and have fun.
AKA
Fallout 3. Oh man, Fallout 3. I did finish the main quest in Fallout 3. It took me like 2,000 hours, but I did eventually get around to finishing it. Because I ran out of stuff to do. And I was like, oh, might well go finish this. And then that's when I got all the DLCs for free. And I was like, oh, hey, look, more stuff to do. But yeah, then Skyrim, I have never finished the main quest in Skyrim. Because I'm stubborn, first off. And second, I started playing before one of the final patches to the console game came out. And the patch that I missed, or that I was playing before, was the patch that fixed, there was a bug in the main quest where you accidentally could kill one of the primary quest givers early in the game. And it wouldn't rectify that, so you couldn't ever finish the second to last mission of the main story mission. And now I refuse, because I've put like 3,500 hours or 4,000 hours into that file, and I'm like, I'm not starting over. Like, that's just not going to happen.
You've never beat.
No. No. I beat the final dragon. Is that the main quest? I thought the main quest was the whole Civil War. Oh, okay, maybe not. Okay, so I beat the final dragon. I just haven't finished the Civil War quest. So like the final fight between the Stormcloaks and the Imperials. Like I've gotten to the point where you're supposed to, I think you have to get like with one of the generals to do something. Yeah, I killed that general like the second mission, like way back in the beginning of the game, and which is fine if you're on like the Stormcloak path. But there's like this one cross point where you have to have him alive to do something to him, and the game was like, oh, he's dead. But instead of recognizing that he's dead because of something, it's just like, yeah, well, you can't do that, so finish this mission that's never gonna get fit. I'm like, God bless it.
It fits your style anyway.
No, yeah, no. As long as I get to kill Thalmor, we're all good. That's fine. Just stand outside of their emissary. Their embassy is now vacant. I have made sure of it.
I love that quest. That was one of it. Anyway.
Yeah, that was one of the quests that I'm like, all right, I snuck through everything. I did everything I was supposed to, and then I turned around and I went back in and I was like, all of you are dying. It was like, mission accomplished. Now we go clean house.
You had like the drunk guy who's like your to the whole.
Oh yeah. And then you like, oh my gosh, yeah. That quest was actually really fun. That was actually a really fun one. But I will admit that I had more fun removing the threat of the Thalmor from Skyrim.
Genocide. So
it's not genocide if it's in defense.
Is it in defense when you're the agitator?
I'm defending. Listen.
Outside of their embassy.
Listen, the Thalmor invaded the entirety of Skyrim
so you're
with a very, very. Yes, I am taking it upon myself. Look, have you ever seen Enemy at the Gates? Listen, this is how this works, okay? The Germans come in, we push them back. That's how this works. The Thalmor are worse than those people, and I hate Thalmor.
Man, all right, Anon, what is your? I'm just gonna let it drop there because
I will defend my position.
Anon, what's your third favorite thing to video game?
Probably like getting items to make whatever avatar I have look look however I want them to look, or it to look, I guess.
So, like, what game is a good example?
Well, I mean, obviously Destiny's a great example, like getting the armor, the shaders, the etc. that makes me look a certain way, like in maybe like the Crash Nitro Racing, it's getting a different cart or getting a character skin, just simple cosmetic stuff like that.
Yeah. I remember, and I'm going to go back into Skyrim, my second amount of time I've spent in Skyrim, and like that. You always had those armor sets, like the glass armor sets, or what were they, obsidian?
Mm-hmm. Obsidian, and then glass, and then Dragonbone in Skyrim.
Yeah, Dragonbone thing. I never got a Dragonbone, but yeah, just kind of grinding to get those sets out.
Yeah.
That's always...
glass armor was, that was great armor.
So what's your favorite armor set then?
I don't even know anymore. It used to very strongly be the Wrath of the Machine Hunter set. Basically just top to bottom, that set. But now, I mean, I don't even know. I'm just really indecisive with it. I think when Shadowkeep comes out and the Universal Ornaments are a thing, I'm going to be wearing a lot more of the, I think it's the Verdant Crown, the Eververse armor set from the, whatever the spring event was. I really like that set.
Revelry?
I don't know, that new ornament gives you wings.
Well, that's for Titans.
That's true. It's the one time I've been jealous of a Titan.
I'm still not jealous of them.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, you know what? You're also correct there too.
I mean, jealous of crayon.
Apparently crayons give you wings.
Apparently. Also diarrhea, but that's a whole nother thing.
This is true.
So my number 3 is kind of similar to yours in so much that I am a massive collector when it comes to things that don't matter in any game. And it is literally, I will go around and pick up flowers and items to do alchemy in Oblivion and Skyrim for hours. Like everywhere I'm going, I'm just picking up stuff all over the place just to be able to make potions or whatnot. They really aren't worth anything. It's not like you could sell them that much unless you... But I maxed out my alchemy score first in Oblivion before I maxed out any. It's just, I like to make potions. Then I also maxed out, I think the cooking thing. Was cooking a thing you can max out? Blue, are you upset with me because I do this?
I'm just in shock. Like, you're like the first person that I'm impressed. Alchemy was your first max like that? Really?
Yeah. I think speed, like the dexterity thing was like technically the first one because you run everywhere, but alchemy was the first one that I physically went to.
Oblivion, I don't know if... I know there was a cooking mod, but I don't know... I can't remember.
I just know it was like a thing.
I'm going to look it up real quick.
I don't remember if it was an actual skill set.
Skills. Yeah, there's acrobats. Alchemy, I think, was the whole thing. Because, like, alchemy pretty much was the cooking thing. Because, like, the fighting, no. Acrobatics, light armor, sneak, speech, no. I think alchemy was that. The only thing that you might have been... no. Yeah, alchemy was the only one. Because you only had the 21 skills.
I like building... So when we did, what was it? The Christmas event, the dawning, when we had made the cookies. I actually really enjoyed that. Just saying. Also,
I liked it because it actually added little things to the story. It showed the interaction. Into Rahul's face. It showed the interaction between the NPCs, which I thought was really cool.
All right, Blue, number 2.
So it kind of ties into what I was just saying. Is like just kind of reading up on the in-game stories.
Killing all the Thalmor.
That too. Yeah.
Just Thalmor.
I'm gonna go back to that one. Freaking third Aldemari Dominion can just F off. But that's actually why I like Elder Scrolls. It's because Elder Scrolls has like in my opinion, it's got one of the best in-game lore delivery systems. They actually have like actual books in the game that you can sit down. Like not only does it appease like the collector, you were kind of talking about Green, like because you have to go out and find the books, but you can actually sit down and you can actually, and they're actually like they're actual books. And actually, I think I think it was last year or the year before, they actually started printing the books from Skyrim, so you can actually get anthology sets of all the books in game in real life, which is really cool. And they're really pretty. Like they are really well done as far as like actual books. But it's like, yeah, I think, and the books themselves are like, they're all kind of similar to Destiny. They're all written in character within the world. And they have like, they have anything from like traveler's guides, which are hilarious to read because it's got like the blatant bias of the author. He's like, these people are primitive, blah, blah, blah. And it's just really fun. And then they have like the fiction stories and like the just like different bards. They have different like collection of songs. I'm like, it's just really cool for me because it's like it gives you that higher degree of immersion into the game world that I really like doing.
Blue has shelves upon shelves in his
little
house that he built.
I get in trouble by my wife all the time whenever I start up Skyrim or Oblivion. Oblivion was a little bit worse because you had a little bit better control over this. But I have totally been caught after 3 hours of playing a game organizing my house, mainly the bookshelves. Skyrim introduced the ability to like build your own house. I was like, okay, well, all the bookshelves are mine, and they are organized alphabetically.
I'm scared to ask, but did you do the whole homesteading type thing where you have like you found a spouse in Skyrim and everything?
I never got into, so like here, that's the weird thing for me is like it's no, I didn't, because I actually really can't stand companion AI in RPGs.
Okay.
Like they are, it's weird. It actually breaks the immersion for me because like they're so too like
awkward.
Everything else in the game, like this is like a weird thing. Like everything else in the game is like super robust and super like depth and all this stuff. And then these companion AIs are like, I have to go open the door. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like get out. Go away. Like just go.
Sit.
Just
sit.
like, yeah, just sit.
Stay
like,
there.
Skyrim did a better job with it because they actually like, you can, I think in the base game there was like the ability to get because it was the house jarl or whatever. Like they actually would go, well, because you could do different ones, like depending on which city you're in, you could get different ones, and they would actually go out and like do stuff. Like they would actually go out and there was one that was a merchant, and she would go out and sell stuff, and then it's like every time you talk to her, she's like, "Here's 2 gold coin." I'm like, "Okay, good job. I've been gone for 6 months, and that's all. Whatever. Like, like whatever. Your shop's doing. Your shop is doing so great. I'm like, whatever. But I was I mean, at least they had some, but like in Oblivion, it was horrible. Like horrible. Just so 2D. But yeah.
It's hard to make a companion.
Oh no. I that's not a dig at the developers. Like the companion AI, it's one of those things where it's like when like RPGs especially, like it's the same problem I couldn't get into Fallout 4 is because it's freaking dog meat. Like just stop. You're getting yourself killed, and then you feel bad because the stupid dog's like, I'm gonna go kill mole rats. It's like, no, don't. Dog meat.
The sigh.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm gonna let you die this time, and I'm not gonna. Gosh, now I feel bad because you got eaten
by a mole.
Yeah, screwball. Blue the Hermit. Leave me with my books.
Yes, he is. He is the Asher Mirror of Skyrim.
Dude, you're not. I'm not joking. There is a awesome homestead area in Skyrim that actually is like in the middle of a swamp, and it's like one of the biggest plots of land that you can get. It's really cool. But yes,
Blue is Shrek confirmed.
Totally okay with that. We're onions, okay? We're onions. Layers.
You're onions.
You make people cry? That too. Layers.
Okay, Anon, save us from the onion metaphor, please. What's your number 2?
I'd have to say like really just the world design, like looking at the world design, it's like exploring, I guess, in any open world game.
Are you doing like breaking the game, like going into like
I used to in
everything?
D1.
Oh yeah.
In D1, I would try to break out of every map and all that. In D2, I haven't, because I think probably the main reason I don't anymore is that Sparrow glitch where you can like put it against the wall and just get out super easy. Like if it takes more effort than that, I've already, it's too much for me already. Yeah, or the remember the Black Garden one?
Yeah,
you can just walk out. They just left a giant
hole.
hole.
I'm done. I'm just leaving. It's like, no, that's not okay.
I think my favorite one was the one you could do on the strike in D1, where it was a Rasputin strike.
Saber 2.
Yes, where you went up against the rock and you just stood underneath the
war set, yeah.
The war set to finish it. You could solo that strike
because that encounter was insane.
It was pretty rough when you were under. Yeah, I haven't. Does anybody still do videos on that? Because I don't even know of any areas to glitch out of.
People have gotten on IO to the new strike.
Oh,
basically, okay. anytime there's a new strike coming in the game, someone has already been in there.
Interesting. I know there used to be a way to get Ada before Ada opened up. I remember that one.
Yeah, all in the annex. You can get there before the annex was first open. You were able to get into the annex.
Just how people find like.
Yeah,
did you like look up ways to do this, or did you try to find a way?
I would just try to find it on my own, like when I was bored in Destiny, and I would just glitch out of the map. I wasn't really trying to find anything. I was just doing it because I was bored, and it was cool to, be out of the map and just jump around and do stuff. Like the Restorative Mind. Before that one came, was that in Rise of Iron or Taken King?
I honestly don't remember.
Before that one came out, I was in that strike multiple times, just messing around in there, because when I found out that you can get there, I was like, all right, well, I'm getting there.
There was a way to glitch out during. You can glitch out of that map when we were in Old
Russia
the top
again.
Half. Yeah,
above the Archon's Forge entrance.
I remember that one.
Mm-hmm.
That one was fun to do. I only did it a few different times, but it really, like you said, it was a lot easier in D1 to break out of the maps than it is in D.
They just upped their game, really, because it was. I think the main reason it was so easy was the Sparrow glitch, that you were just able to literally pass through solid walls.
The only one I know that is kind of a glitch is in Riven. On one of the sides, Riven doesn't show up.
Yeah, you can run into the wall. It'll send you back to the top.
Yep. Yeah, that's the only one I know about that, like, I've used multiple at this point. Like, it's an actual use.
I know that one because that's the one they showed me when I ran with. They're like, just run into this corner. What does this do? Just run into this corner. Okay.
Riven's a good example of my number 2, just like world design. I think it's between the Vault and Riven, where you're just going through more of that whole temple, whatever it is, and you see the biomes of like Nessus and Mercury and pre-collapse Mercury too, not just Mercury how it is.
That is I think the few times I've gone in with Cole, she and I get stuck in there and everyone just drags us forward, or just looking at different trees, like the tree things in the that actually is my number 2 in a very similar way. I turn off my HUD though, and I walk around Destiny.
I'd be so screwed.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. I die all the time. Like, I can't do strikes and stuff that way. But if I'm in just like a public area, I'll turn off my HUD and just run without it. And it's a lot of fun. And I'm sure I'm going to get a little grief about this because this is something I've started recently. Just because you get really bored because everything's easy in public events. It's a nice new challenge to try to do public events without a HUD, because reload.
Gotta count your bullets.
Know your gun. Know your gun.
With Sweet Business, it's really difficult.
Oh, I never used that gun. I think maybe I used it to get breakneck, but that was.
It's just like when you're trying to count. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Mm-hmm. You just have to know how long it takes. Just count seconds at that point, right?
Yeah.
All right, Blue. Up to number 1s.
Well, my number 1 is actually the same as your guys' number 2.
Oh, really?
Especially with Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls in general, like just going out, and this is actually one of the reasons I really like No Man's Sky, is because the game is pretty much all of this, but just like throwing yourself into the middle of nowhere and just kind of just wandering, just completely not like just aimlessly just kind of discovering things within the game world is like, and like No Man's Sky is really cool because it's all randomly generated. Like it's like, kind of RNG generated. Skyrim though, it's like there's so many like random little things in Skyrim that they, that the developers purposely put, but they don't tell anybody about. Like there's like the little Easter eggs that are all over the place, and it's just really cool to see like to find them and to discover something. Like they had one of the recent patches, because like with Skyrim now you can put mods on the consoles, which is really cool. But one of the mods that they gave for Skyrim that was really, really fun is it added holidays into the game. And so
really?
like it actually calculates. Oh yeah. It's oh my gosh, it's so much fun. But what's really cool is like there's this one holiday. It's based off the magic solstice, is inside the game calendar. And if you like time it correctly, you can actually find a event that is like, it's not a fighting event. It's not a combat event. It's actually a celebration of all the magical like monsters. And you can watch this whole thing where it's like you have like the Autonox, the different fire elementals, like all the elementals have summoned themselves and are like celebrating this thing out in the middle of nowhere. And it's just like this completely random thing that they built into it. Another one that they did was there was a really prominent member of the Elder Scrolls community who passed away, and one of the official mods, they actually built a shrine for him and put it in the map. And they didn't mark it, they didn't do anything, but they told a few people who were really close to him, and that's now memorialized. He's now memorialized in the game. It's an official like mod to everything. It's just like that type of stuff is like really cool to kind of come across, because you're like, what is this? And then you go research it or whatever, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is like, there's an actual explanation to all this random stuff inside, especially Elder Scrolls. They do that a lot. No Man's Sky, they do that with like the whole thing of the monoliths, where you can learn things and they get challenged with riddles and stuff like that. And it's really cool. Also, like exploring the different worlds that you discover and stuff like that, I find it's just fascinating to see how it all comes together.
Kind of have that. I wish they would. I missed the fact that they haven't really added any in a long, long time.
Yeah, I keep catching myself.
Not a fan of scannables.
I keep catching myself like looking for them every time I go into a different level that I haven't been in. Like so, I'm like, oh, there's got to be something. No.
I learned a new thing about one of the scannables on Nessus, which if you're going to Artifact's Edge and you go left instead of like going towards the forges, go the opposite direction. That first scannable en route to the next area, it's a conflux. I never play exos. I didn't realize that it shuts the exo off. Like I didn't like Cole showed it to me the other day because she's never heard the other lines.
Right.
Because I only heard the line about exos.
That's why I don't like the scannables, because it's almost like they're purposefully misleading to certain people. Yeah. Where it's like if you're not playing, either if you are or you're not playing as an exo, and that's a great example. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh wow, Vex confluxes have exo markings on it, and it's like, what? But then if you're playing as the other one, it's like, oh yeah, Cade was messing around with this. Oh, well, that completely devalues what the first one almost said.
Well, that's also like the veteran dialogue.
Yeah,
exactly. Some of them will do that. I remember when I learned that, I was like, oh no, because I'm like, oh god, worst case, every single one of them is going to be, worst case scenario, we have a different one for every race, every like veteran, non-veteran. Yeah. I'm like, oh, my head hurts.
I just think it's too much. It causes confusion, especially in the community, like among different people who are like, this is what it says, this is what it potentially means.
I can appreciate their attempt at making it mean something to people who are veterans who have played the game and would understand the references that they're making. As I understand like the desire to do that, to be immersive like that. I just think that it was a really huge undertaking that became confusing to the rest of us. Anon, what's your number? Since we're kind of throwing up the last little bits of things.
My number one is absolutely just like achieving a power fantasy, like of whatever the power fantasy I'm going for in the game is. Mm-hmm. Like just getting to that point where I feel extremely powerful within the game and I can do whatever it is I'm setting out to do.
Is that by doing in-game content specifically with like a class that you're working towards, or how do you accomplish?
So like in Destiny, part of my power fantasy recently, like in PvP, it's been using Middle Tree Night Stalker. So I have the flawless execution, going invisible, getting to see everyone through the map and stuff, and that's going to be getting nerfed. So it's kind of like my power fantasy is getting nerfed there. So like I'll go back to like hopefully Golden Gun will get a buff. If not, I might actually just try out Bottom Tree Night Stalker and see like how that works, where it would be about using my grenade to get my melee, to get my grenade, to get my melee, to get my grenade, etc. back and forth.
Have you tried the Arc Strider combo with Liar Hand?
Like in PvP or in general?
In PvE. It's harder to accomplish not having PvE.
Yeah, I just got a 1-2 punch last man standing, and I also got a swashbuckler last man standing. So I've been meaning to try it, but I just haven't yet because I've been extremely focused on getting Redrick's broadsword before the season ends.
If you get a chance to go into Shattered Throne, the ogre area, the big boss fight one hates, that's actually the hardest encounter in the stupid dungeon. You can do that entire thing with Liar's Handshake and Arc Strider, the shoddy.
That's awesome. But
it's amazing.
Do it before the update because that's getting nerfed.
I know the 1-2 punches, but
well, I mean, it's the synergy between 1-2 punch and combination blow is what's getting nerfed.
Because they called out that exact encounter.
It was you could solo it as a hunter. Like it's really hard to solo that in general, but as a hunter, you're so stinking squishy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, especially now with the lack of auto reload, that's what really made it.
Yeah.
I guess if you're trying to solo Shattered Throne, you need to do it before Shadow Keep drops because it's going to get a lot harder for you.
All right. So my number one personal is trying to beat an encounter without active enemies' attacks. The only game I've been able to do this completely in Blue, kind of probably already know the story. It's how I beat the main story. And I had
Did you do Batman? Did you do the Batman challenge?
What's the Batman?
Go through the entire game without killing anybody?
Oh, no, I didn't do that. I wasn't.
That's insane.
I was the jerk that literally just made myself completely invisible because the AIs wouldn't recognize you if you were completely invisible, even if you hit them. Yep. I was that person who sniped everything with a bow all the way through Oblivion. I was so underleveled when I beat that game because I had 5 ring of invisibility, which gave you 20%. It was amazing. That was my power fantasy of just having ultimate power of being able to affect the world without the world effect. Anyway, that was sniping in a game in general, though, is a lot of fun. Standing back and knowing the thrall aren't going to walk through the door because apparently there's a barrier there for them unless you're close. It's just knowing where
the AI knows you have a sniper. Not going through that door. We don't peek sniper lanes.
Yeah, acolytes
smarter than the players.
Have third eye. They know Anyway, that is our top 3 for this week, guys. Thank you guys for listening and joining in with us. Thank you for live chat for kind of giving us your top 3s as we're going along and giving us a little grief for some of the different things we got going. But next week we'll have another one of these. And as always, remember, everybody loves a list.